So first things first, I just want to welcome you all here. Very excited to see you. We do have a power-packed week this week that you get to utilize. But first thing is, does anybody have any hoorays or ta-das or wins that you'd like to share from a team? Anybody who has had anyone you want to recognize or congratulate for some awesome work, please come on in. I was a little late to getting onto the Shackley Effect one, so if I missed anybody who was in the Shackley, which I probably did because I was late and then I didn't get to rewatch it. So if you saw anyone who was recognized in the YFP family or even on your team, you're welcome to unmute or stick it in the chat. Either way, just so we can send them a huge congratulations. And if not, then, or if something comes to mind as you're going through, that's fantastic. So the first thing that I want to cover this week is let's go over what's new and what's coming, and we'll do a little recap of them at the end because there is so much going on. Let me just share my screen. There we go. Wrong page. All right. So on the dashboard, so like I said, we have a very busy week, and it's not just for you, your prospects, but it's also for you guys as well. There's a lot happening. But let's talk about what's happening for you first as YFPers. The first one is we have the Super Starter Boot Camp is starting up tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to go for 5 days. So if you have somebody, or if you are somebody who's brand new to YFP, this is something you want to jump on. If you're feeling that you just need a little refresher, again, this will be something that you want to jump on. Even if you know it inside and out, backwards and forwards, it's always good to have that extra little refresher. And because we've changed, there's been a little bit of change in terminology, then it'll be something you want to jump on as well. So you can join it live, whether you want to join us live in the Facebook group, or you can come into the Zoom room. And now let me make sure that this works. So it's a webinar event and you can join us there. So you should have gotten an email for it. If you haven't gotten an email for it, let us know. Oh, you're seeing, oh, right. 2 screens, Kristen, 2 screens. Let's fix that. There. Thank you, Nicole. I'm just not used to this 2 screen thing. I never have to check it. So let me just move this guy over here. There we go. You're just watching me watch the replay on Facebook. All right, let's come back here. So on your upcoming activities, this is where the Super Starter Bootcamp, showing you where the event is. If you should have gotten an email for it if you're in YFP and on the mailing list. There should also be updates coming from the YFP fan page. So that'll all be there. And you can also view all the events up at the top here of your dashboard. The other one that's incredibly important that is coming up, which will be up on your slider. So up top, if you're not familiar with the terminology slider, this up top here is the slider because it slides from side to side. So you can find the events or the promos that you're looking for. That's not the one. This is the one. Happening on Thursday is the Instagram Marketing 101. So discover how Shackley business leaders are unlocking the power of Instagram for their business. We have 2 very special guests now. We've upgraded from 1 special guest to 2 special guests who are in the Shackley field, who are utilizing Instagram extremely well for their businesses. And if you want to find out who they are, you got to join us because I can't give any spoilers away today, even though I'm extremely excited about it. You can put your guesses in, but I'm still not telling. Lips are sealed until Thursday. So you want to be on that because in there, we're going to talk about why you want to use Instagram, or why you'd want to, not necessarily want to, but why you'd want to consider it. Oops, my little slider moved, but that's okay. This does move on its own. But why you want to consider looking into Instagram, and I'm going to share some really powerful reasons as to why. Engagement is one of the huge ones on Instagram, but I won't go into too much of it now. And we're also going to touch a little bit on how you can power up your profile to make it work better for you. So those are some of the things we're going to cover on Thursday night. So you don't want to miss that. And of course, we're announcing who's going to join us. I'm so excited. Okay, so that's what's coming up for you guys. The other thing too is if you're in Networkers University, that will be starting up again on the 20th. We're not having it this week because I'm doing the webinar, and we don't want to overload everybody. We want you still to be able to go out and do the things, do the engaging with your people. You don't need to be caught up all the time in the trainings, but these are very important ones. The other thing too, so let's first of all take a step, and I just want to see if anyone has found, awesome, and thank you again, Nicole, for that. Again, if you think of any congratulations you want to send out to anyone in your team or anyone in the YFP family, please shout it out there. Like I said, I was a little bit late this morning, but that's okay. I'll have to go back and catch it, and then I can see if we have any to add in there as well. So the other thing that we want to talk a little bit about today is we want to clarify what YFP is. We wanted to talk a little bit about YFP is because Jody has been brainstorming like crazy and about how we can really define what YFP is for you guys to help you get a really good grasp on it, because you may have heard the term YFP, My Freedom Builder, Super Starter, and may start getting a little confusing, which is understandable. So we want to clear that up here. So we put a lot of brain power into being able to clarify this and simplify it for you guys so it's easy. So let's jump in here. Whoops, don't do that. There we go. See, if I can do this on a Zoom, you guys have got this. Your Freedom Project, it liberates Shaklee distributors from common struggles they face and help them find new possibilities for how the business can work for them. And not only that, how you can work the business. So with the tools and the training that we provide, you'll always know what to say, what to do, and how to do it. That's usually the big 3 common things that people struggle with in network marketing. Your Freedom Project is a 360-degree ecosystem of tools and training that can help you find new builders, find new customers, and increase your sales and retention. So which type of business are you trying to build? So think about this. There's 2 ways to build the business. You can build a customer-focused business, or you can build a large organization of leaders by focusing on finding builders. You can do both, by the way. It just won't be in huge capacities if you're doing both. So YFP addresses the 3 specific areas that people struggle with in Shaklee. First one is not knowing where to go to find people to talk to. I know that was me. I was in that club. Not knowing what to do with the people they find, not having a formula or a plan to stay on track to measure success. So YFP supports your growth in 3 key areas. So the tools, which are the assets, the platform, and the process. The training, which is our courses, coaching, and our events. And then the support. So we have the pit crew, we have the community, we have the different guides that you can utilize in the business files. So it's not just a box full of tools. YFP also provides the methodology, that's a hard word today, strategies and plan for growth. And My Freedom Builder gives you the platform to connect all those tools needed to implement the formula in the business. So it's kind of like YFP is the philosophy, the method, and the strategy, and the My Freedom Builder is the actual tools that connect together on a platform so you can implement that strategy. So how is My Freedom Builder different from YFP or your Freedom Project? So YFP offers the business formula and the philosophy, which is the YFP way. So if you're using the business blueprint, that's what the YFP offers. The YFP, that's what YFP offers. YFP is also the brand that contains all the products. My Freedom Builder is a product in YFP's suite of tools, which has all of your websites, that type of thing. So it's the platform that all the assets connect to, which is the newsletter, the websites, all that good stuff, right? It gives you all the tools. Another key benefit of using YFP's tools and training is that you'll have an answer to one of the most common concerns that prospects have, which is, do I have to sell? Now, while we're here, what do we do instead of sell? What do we focus on? What are we creating? It's a trick question, kind of.
Education.
Go ahead, Gloria.
We focus on educating people.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Excellent. Does anyone else want to add to that? There's one specific sentence I'm looking for. We create a, go ahead, Susan.
Well, we also invite.
Yes, we do. We do.
And we create a pipeline for people to go into the business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're very close. It has to do with creating a network for, I think Nicole's got it. I was reading your lips, Nicole. Go ahead, Nicole.
Distribution.
Yes. Creating a network for product distribution. That's fantastic. Okay, so let's go on to the next slide and cover that, because that's really what we are focusing on, is creating that network for product distribution. No, Tony, I haven't talked about them yet. I'm talking about those at the end. I wanted to cover what's happening for you guys, and then we'll talk about what's happening for you to invite people to. So you'll be able to show business prospects how to create sales without selling or having to specialize in direct sales, using educational marketing strategies and helping to create that network for product distribution. You'll also be able to show them a simple duplicatable plan for growth with our formula for the 12-month business project, which you can find in the YFP business blueprint. And also with the, I can't remember what it's called, but where you actually see what the structure looks like. You'll be able to teach your team how to have success by design, not by accident. So your Freedom Project, or YFP, can help you create sales without selling in 4 main ways. By teaching you how to communicate and engage with people in ways that attract people to you, that also reduces resistance. So you're not having to fight with them or feel like you're pulling them in with them. They're like, you know, like if you've ever tried to if you've ever tried to put a horse in a trailer for the first time, there's a lot of resistance that can come from that, where you're pulling on the rope and the other one's pulling harder. By teaching you how to promote and enroll versus selling and recruiting. By teaching you how to do a simple block of monthly product volume that you can easily duplicate. And by teaching you how to create a product or a network for product distribution by using the power of team building. So everything that that Gloria and Susan and Nicole mentioned is all exactly what we're doing. So this creates sales volume that can scale and grow even if you're taking a rest. So the truth is, building a business is a project. And like any project, you need a plan, a guide, tools, and training. And with YFP, you'll have all the resources that you need for your Freedom Project, which is why we called it your Freedom Project. So let's do a quick talk about what YFP is not. No, more, that's not what I'm saying. They're not part of a horse's anatomy. It's just the tug of war that can sometimes happen when you're trying to force people into the sales rather than just educating. It might have been a terrible analogy, but that's okay. So let's talk about what YFP is not. So YFP, first off, is not a system that's going to find people for you. You still have to do that bulk of talking to people. It's not a gimmicky scheme that requires no effort. And some have learned this, and some have figured it out before they got started, which is great. So you still have to do the work. It's not just going to do it for you. It's not a new way to get you motivated. It's not a way to avoid talking to people, which we know. We still have to talk to people. We can't avoid it. We can't hide behind the computer screens, but we want to utilize technology to connect with people on a broader spectrum. And it's not a new way to sell or recruit better. So that's what YFP is not. So now I'm going to stop my share and just see if there's any questions. Maura is a sassy woman. I love working with her. It's great. Just want to see if there's any questions or if there's anything we can clarify about what YFP is, the difference between YFP and My Freedom Builder. I hope it was crystal clear. And the thing is, we're going to talk about this more and more as we go too. So it'll take some repetition. I know it took Jody a few times drilling it into me, so it might take some time, and that's okay. So before we end off, then let's talk about what's coming up that you can invite your prospects to. And the reason I wanted to save this to the end is because this gives you an opportunity to keep it fresh. And as soon as we're done the call, or even as we're doing the call, you can be sending your invites, doing your posts about the events that are coming up, so then it's top of mind. Because we'll remind you about the events that are for you, but it's up to you to remind your people about the events that are for them. So let's go back to my share. Oh, I guess I forgot to escape that. There we go. So what's happening this week for our peeps? So we have obviously the wellness webinar on Wednesday. And for those of you, I know in the wellness or the email that went out this morning, it did say in the title, February 14th. This is a good opportunity. I found that these little mix-ups that happen actually turn out to be very beneficial for us, because then you can send out a little follow-up email saying, oops, I'm sorry, we put in the wrong date, put the right date in. And it's amazing how much engagement you'll get on that email, that follow-up email that reminds them. I found it to be a huge blessing sometimes when those little mix-ups happen, because they're like, what do you mean? What date are you talking about? Then they open up it and you can re-invite them and let them know the date, the proper date. But however, where is it? This one. All the dates in the reg page are the proper date. So sometimes it just happens. I think we were all thinking Heart, Valentine's Day, it should coincide together, but weren't quite on the right days there. So that's the one thing I wanted to just address before we jump in here. So the wellness webinar, 2 ways to do it, or a couple ways to do it. You can use the share button. You can share directly to Facebook, which will pop it up right here. And I pre-wrote today, so you don't have to sit here and watch me write it out. And you can just see I wrote something very brief. And then you have a choice of where you want to share it. You can share it to, try not to share it to a friend's timeline unless they know it's coming. You can share it in a group that you're a part of, in an event, or on a page you manage, or even on your feed and story. A neat little trick to do is at the bottom here you'll see it says news feed and then your story. And there's two little, one side will be checked. The news feed will always be checked, but check your story as well, because stories, if you've ever been on, if I go home, there we go. Oops. Stories always end up at the top of everybody's news feed. So if you have it on as a story, it just gives an extra chance for exposure. So don't be afraid to utilize stories for that and have it post in both areas. So yeah, a little trick is just have it post on your stories, and then you go post to Facebook and it'll do its thing. It'll close this dialog box. But then if I go back to Facebook and I refresh, then there's my story with the Dr. Scala webinar invite. So people can come straight to my story and click on it from there, or they can see it on my actual timeline. So I hope that's helpful. You can see what it looks like there. Once it's posted, you can just close out the tab. Oh, yes, Susan, go ahead.
Is it okay to put the link with his photo on our Facebook page, our personal page?
Yep.
Facebook won't get upset and say, oh, you put a link in there.
I haven't had any problems with it when I'm posting a webinar like this. When it comes to posting my own links in there, I'm a little bit more cautious, but for webinars, I'm not too nervous about it.
All right.
I haven't gotten in trouble yet.
We shall see.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So we shall see.
We shall see.
All right. And then the other way to share it too is to just copy the link, which if you click on copy link, it'll copy it directly to your clipboard. And then you can come to wherever, a social space, a message, or whichever, and just paste, and it'll paste the link in. So if you're going to pop an email to somebody to personally invite them, that's the route you'd want to use. Just back that up, because I've already posted it. I don't need to post it twice. So that's that. So that's the webinar, and it's going to be really good. Dr. Scala and I are getting together tomorrow to just do some cleanups on it, go through the process, but the information in there is fabulous. So you can bang the drum on that one. And then the next one, of course, that we have for people to invite people to is the Leaner for Life, which is, this is our last week for Leaner for Life tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We are having Nadia Touch come, and she's going to talk about, cover the fitness portion. And again, the information that she's provided is phenomenal. So if there's anybody who's wanting to know how to incorporate fitness in, the benefits and the different types, this is going to be something they're going to want to join. It's going to be really well put together. I'm really excited about it. And same thing, you can use the share in Facebook or copy the link. So if you're following along with me and you have an extra screen, go ahead and share share one of these on wherever. If you want to share it in your personal, your personal page, or on a group, or in an event, or even on your business page, go ahead and do one of those and get one out if you haven't already. If you've already gotten it together, then you're good to go. Okay. So the next one is, let's cover what's new. So the role of soy on heart health is the new wellness article coming out, or it's not coming out, it is out. So if you want to check it out, you can click right on the link. Now, one thing that was happening, and it's going to do it for me here in just a second, when you click on read more, this is going to pop up, but because you're logged in, if you just click the little X, it'll refresh and just take you in. So you can get straight into the Wellness Center, and it'll be your top, the top article. So this one is, it's a very good read. Or is it being silly? It's being silly for me today. But either way, if you do struggle and you can't seem to get it to work, then you can always come to your dashboard, go Wellness Center, and then click on your home button. I didn't really want to open that in a new window, but that's okay. I'll let that open. Do it this way. Sometimes it's just silly. So there we go. And it'll, again, be your top one. So you can read through that article. You can also share this article, because there's, a lot of misinformation, especially around soy in general. But when you're talking soy and heart health, Dr. Scala gave us some really great information on why soy is such a great option if you do struggle with heart, or if you want to help keep your heart healthy, because there's not the fat in it, you get a good protein, but this article will cover it. So you can share that just by sharing the link. And yes, if it's somebody new who's never been to your wellness center, they will have to create a wellness center account, but then it gets them on your list and you can stay in touch with them as well. So that's the new article out. If you're wondering how to unsubscribe somebody from your master list, there's a new help article out. Well, it was February 3rd. Was it out? Yeah, can't remember if it was out actually by the time we did it, but there's a new article out there too. So if you're wondering how to unsubscribe somebody and they don't want to do it themselves, then you can use that article there. And then what else is happening? I think that about covers it for this week. So it's going to be a busy week. Yes, that is great. I'm happy to help with that, Shirley. I know the first time I read Nadia's name, I was like, I don't want to mess this up. I asked her. So that's fantastic. Okay, so is there any questions that anybody has about the events that are coming up, how to share them, what you should be talking about with people? You're welcome to come in. Yes, Susan.
On the Leaner for Life, if we put that out on Facebook as a story, and they go to that one event to see that's live, can they see the other ones also? Will there be a way for them to get to the previous?
Mm-hmm. Because they will get the replay, and the replay will take back to the whole sequence.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Absolutely. What does a new person get after the 30-day free trial is over and they can't subscribe? Shirley, that's a great question. Actually, can I ping you after, and we can jump on a Zoom and chat about it? And really what they get with it is not a whole lot. They can still get into the training center and still watch all the training, but they don't have the websites or the lead capture pages or anything like that. So I hope that answers your question, Shirley. So yeah, I think that might have been a good thing that we just cover on here anyways, in case anyone else was curious. And if you have any follow-up questions to that, Shirley, just pop me a message and we can chat about it as well. Okay, so that's great. So unless there's anything else that we feel we need to cover today, I think that's good. You know, just get banging the drum on the events, share them with, you know, if there's somebody that it would be something you've talked about in the past with heart health and they've been concerned about it, it's a great time to reach out and just say, hey, we've got this event coming on tonight. You know, I know we chatted about heart health a while ago. I thought, you know, I'd pass this along if you wanted to join us. And that should be good. Perfect. So with that, everybody, I'm going to close it off. So we'll see you guys all later. Have a wonderful day and bye for now.